The woman in the snow, the wind howled through the broken buildings, blowing cold snow across the ruined city. Long ago, this place was full of life. Now it was only silence and ice. Everything was dead. Or so they thought. Sergeant Cole Jensen moved carefully. He was alone, wearing a thick survival suit and carrying a blaster rifle. His helmet visor glowed blue, scanning the area. It had been 10 years since the Human-Ziari War ended. This city was one of the final battlegrounds. No one had returned since. Until now, thermal scan active, said his eye. Cole checked the screen on his wrist. A single dot blinked, faint. Or something was alive nearby. He raised his weapon and followed the signal, through the snow and twisted metal. He saw her. She stood near the broken wall of a building. She was tall and thin. Her skin was pale blue. Her silver hair blew in the wind. In her arms she held a small child wrapped in cloth. Both looked frozen. Starving. Alien. Zeyari. Cole single quotes S finger tightened on the trigger. The war had taken millions of human lives. The Ziari were the enemy. Cold, heartless, dangerous, that's what they always said. But this didn't look like a soldier. This looked like a mother. Don't move, Cole shouted. The woman didn't run. She just stared at him. Her lips were cracked. Her eyes were tired. She took one small step forward, then another. Cole saw her. Legs shaking. She was too weak. She tried to speak. Her voice was barely a whisper. I'll warm your bed. Just feed my child. And then she collapsed. Cole rushed forward, catching her before she hit the ground. She was ice cold. The child in her arms was even colder. The boy looked up at him with wide, scared eyes. His lips were blue. His breathing slowed. Cole quickly opened a thermal blanket and wrapped it around them both. I have 2 survivors. One adult, one child. Ziari, orders, Sergeant? The AI asked. Command says kill or capture, came the cold reply from HQ. Cole looked down at the woman in his arms. Her skin was cut and bruised. Her clothes were torn. She wasn't a soldier. She was barely even alive. He looked at the child. The boy was no more than 5. Too young to fight, too young to hate. They're not a threat, Cole said. That's not your call, Sergeant, said the voice from HQ. He didn't answer. Instead, he lifted the woman into his arms, careful not to drop the child. He turned and walked toward his ship. Snow crunched under his boots. As the ramp closed behind him. The heat inside the ship brought a little color back to the woman's face. He placed her on the medical bed and checked the child's vitals. Dehydrated, malnourished, severe frostbite, the AI reported. Both may die without care. Then help them, Cole ordered. The AI paused. That will violate protocol. So will leaving them to die. Cole stared at the unconscious woman. Why was she here? Why wasn't she with her people? Why had she offered herself so desperately? He pulled off his helmet and sat down, breathing heavily. His mind was full of questions. The war was over. But the hate hadn't ended. He remembered the screams of dying friends, the burning cities, the propaganda. Ziari are monsters. That's what the poster said, but this one was just a mother and her child. As the medical bots worked, Cole watched them. The child's tiny hand reached out and grabbed Cole's finger. His grip was weak, but real. It made something inside Cole shift. He thought he had seen everything. He thought his heart had turned to stone. But now he wasn't sure. Don't die, he whispered to the woman. Not after coming this far? Outside, the storm howled louder. But inside the ship there was warmth and something else. Something that had been lost during the war. Hope. The child with no name. The child woke up screaming. Cole jumped to his feet, nearly knocking over the chair beside the medical bed. The boy's eyes were wide open, full of terror, but he wasn't looking at Cole. He was looking at the ceiling. You're safe now, Cole said gently, but the child didn't seem to hear him. He kept crying quiet, broken sobs. Not loud, but full of fear. Then suddenly he stopped. His eyes scanned the room fast, like he was searching for something. Or someone. Where's your mother? Cole asked. The boy pointed with a small hand toward the next bed. The alien woman lay still, breathing slowly, wrapped in clean blankets. Her silver hair was wet from melted snow. She hadn't woken up since Cole brought her in. The boy crawled across the bed and held her tightly. He didn't speak. Not a word. Can he talk? Cole asked the ship's AI. Vocal cords are fine, the AI said. Psychological trauma likely. Signs of PTSD. Cole sat back down. He noticed something: no name tag, no ID, no tech implants. Nothing. The child had been completely stripped of identity. Like someone didn't want him to be found. You have a name, kid? Cole asked softly. The child only looked at him, confused. Then hid his face against his mother's shoulder. Cole sighed. Great. The kid's nameless, the mom's unconscious, and Command thinks I'm on recon patrol. He rubbed his eyes, then stood up. He walked over to the control panel and pulled up a scan of the woman's biology. AI, what's her condition? Healing, but something is strange. Cole frowned. Strange how? She's Ziari. But her blood shows signs of genetic modification. Half-human markers present. He froze. You're telling me she's not fully alien? Correct. She is a hybrid. Cole looked back at her. She seemed peaceful now, holding her child close. But in war, nothing peaceful stayed peaceful for long. Was she made? Or born? Unknown, replied the AI. A chill ran through him. There were rumors during the war, dark rumors about labs, experiments, hybrid programs, but no proof, until now. She's hiding from someone, he said quietly. Suddenly, the ship lights dimmed. A warning flashed red on the screen. Incoming. Transmission unmarked vessel nearby. They found us. Cole whispered. Secrets in the silence. The woman woke up in the dark. Not fully, just barely. Her body was weak, her head heavy, but her eyes opened. She didn't move, only listened. A low hum vibrated beneath her. The engine of a human ship. She was not dead. Not yet. She turned her head slowly. Her child lay beside her, sleeping, warm under a silver blanket. She touched his hair gently, and for a moment her lips trembled. He was safe. He was breathing. Her hands relaxed. Then she heard footsteps. Heavy, careful. Human. She closed her eyes again. Cole stood in the doorway, holding 2 mugs of nutrient broth. He placed one on the table beside her, not knowing she was awake. The boy was still silent, clinging to her side even in sleep. No name, Cole said softly to himself. No language. No history. He stared at the boy. Are you even hers? He whispered, but something told him yes. The way she held him, even while unconscious, was not fake. Cole sat down in the corner, watching both of them. He didn't trust her. He couldn't, not yet. She was Ziari. Or half Ziari. And that meant danger and secrets. His fingers tapped against his weapon, slowly, rhythmically. That's when he noticed something strange, a small black mark on her neck. At first it looked like a scar, but under the med light it shimmered. Faintly, Cole got up and leaned closer. AI, scan her neck. Object detected. Subdermal tracker. Old tech, pre-war model, not active. Can it be reactivated? Yes, if someone finds the signal code. He stepped back, heart pounding. Someone had tagged her like property. Like a stolen asset, which meant someone might come looking, and maybe they already were. The woman opened her eyes again, slowly this time. Her voice was weak, but steady. You shouldn't have brought us here. Cole turned sharply. You're awake. She sat up a little, her body still shaking. She pulled the child closer to her chest. He doesn't talk, she said. I noticed, Cole replied. There was a long pause. Who are you? He asked. No one, she said quickly. That's not good enough. She met his eyes. If I tell you who I am, you'll hand me over. Cole didn't answer. He didn't know what he would do. Not yet. You offered yourself to save him, he said. Why? She looked down. Because that's all anyone ever wanted from me. He felt a strange tightness in his chest. The war is over, he said. Not for me, she replied. The boy stirred in her arms. She kissed the top of his head. Is he your son? Cole asked. She didn't speak, but her eyes gave the answer. Then she added, barely above a whisper, but not by choice. Cole froze. 100 silent things passed between them in that moment. He saw it in her eyes. The pain, the survival, the shame, the strength. She wasn't just running, she was escaping something worse than war. Someone tagged you, he said. Tracker in your neck, she nodded. They'll come for you. Yes, who are they? Her hands gripped the child tighter. People who never lost the war, because they built it. The enemy's blood, the boy finally spoke, but not with words. It happened in the silence, over a cold meal. Cole sat across from them in the small ship kitchen. The woman fed the child slowly, one spoon at a time. The boy's eyes never left Cole's face. Then, as she reached for the water, the boy dropped the spoon and said one word. Papa! The woman froze. Cole's hand paused in midair. What did he say? Cole asked. She didn't answer. Her face turned pale. He doesn't know better, she said quickly, interrupting him. He just sees who brings food. And doesn't hurt us. Cole stared at her. Is that all it takes to become a father? He asked bitterly. She didn't respond. The boy leaned forward again, resting his head on Cole's arm, soft, trusting. Cole looked at the child, then back at the woman. Who's his real father? He asked. She looked down. Her fingers trembled slightly as she wiped the boy's mouth. A man who wore your uniform, she whispered. The room went quiet. For a long moment, Cole didn't say anything. Then he stood up, walked out, and punched the wall hard enough to crack his knuckles. Later. That night, Cole accessed his private database. AI, he said coldly, I want records from the early Zyari prison camps, human side, experimental programs. Look for project type designations. The AI hesitated. Those files are restricted by high command. Override it. I have. Field rights. Access granted. Lines of text scrolled across the screen. Cole read, his jaw clenched. Project Chimera. Mixed specimen testing. Human Zyari hybrids. Artificial breeding programs. He slammed the console shut. Monsters, he said. Not Zeyari. Humans. The next morning, a message came from command, a secure line, voice only. Sergeant Cole? Your ship was tracked near Sector 7. That zone is closed. I was following a heat signal, he replied calmly. You picked up unauthorized life forms? I picked up survivors. A pause. Return them to base. We'll handle it. They're not a threat. That's not your decision. Cole narrowed his eyes. His voice dropped. They're running from someone, maybe from you. The voice went cold. You're not cleared to ask questions, Sergeant. Bring them in, or don't come back. The line went dead. Cole sat there, fists clenched. He looked toward the room where they slept. And he made his choice. He wasn't handing them over. Not the boy who called him Papa, and not the woman who had enemy blood. Yet more humanity than the men giving him orders. They are hunting her, it began with a sound, a soft beep. Barely noticeable, but Cole had trained too long in war to ignore strange sounds. He paused in the middle of cleaning his rifle and turned his head. Slowly toward the medbay, the woman was asleep, holding the child close. But a red light blinked. Faintly on her neck, Cole's heart stopped. AI, he said, standing up. What is that? The tracker has activated. It's sending a signal. To who? Unknown. Signal strength increasing. Intercepted by unknown receiver 6. Minutes ago. He didn't ask anything else. He grabbed his sidearm, rushed to the medbay and woke her. They're coming. She sat up instantly, eyes wide. The tracker, he said. It just turned on. Her breath caught. No, they found me. Cole didn't wait. He pressed a small tool to her neck. The tracker sparked, then popped out of her skin with a hiss of steam. He smashed it under his boot. I wiped this ship's location from all com records. Go dark. No signals in or out. Confirmed. How long do we have? The woman asked. Hours, maybe less. Then you should leave us, she said, eyes cold. Let them. Take me. And the boy? Her silence said everything. I won't let them take either of you. She looked at him for a long time. Why do you care? She whispered. You don't know us. I know what it's like to be hunted by your own kind. That shut her up. The child didn't cry. He didn't ask questions. He just held his mother's hand as they moved through the ship toward the escape hangar. Cole had made his choice. They couldn't stay. There's a colony, he told her. Human, old mining outpost, buried under the ice, off-grid, no signals, no politics. Will they help us? Some might. And the others? He glanced at the child. That's why I'm bringing a gun. They landed just before the storm hit. The colony was quiet, too quiet. Old metal buildings, a few lights. No guards. Cole walked first, the woman behind him, the boy in her arms. Suddenly a voice. Halt, weapons down. Men in armor stepped out from the shadows, human soldiers, but not from command. These were private. Independent, no markings, no ranks. One of them stepped forward. She's Ziari, he said. She's a refugee, Cole replied. Ziari blood isn't welcome here. Neither is yours, Cole growled. The man looked at the boy. What is that? The child hid his face. Cole stepped forward, hand on his gun. He's a child, not a weapon. That depends on what's in his blood, the soldier said. Another soldier raised his weapon. The woman stepped in front of her son, and Cole pointed his gun at the man's head. Lower it, Cole said, voice like ice. Or what? The soldier sneered. Or I show you what war taught me. The standoff held for several seconds. Then someone from the back shouted, Enough! Don't shoot women and children here. A grizzled old miner stepped forward, holding a shovel like a sword. Let them through. Cole nodded once. The soldier stepped back, slowly lowering his weapon. You're making a mistake, he said. I've made worse, Cole replied, inside the colony. In the warmth of old heaters and dusty blankets, the woman held her child close. For now. They were safe, but Cole knew this wasn't the end. They had escaped the first hunters, but others would come. Because once you carry enemy blood, someone always wants to spill it. A new war begins. The fire was small, but warm. The boy sat beside it, silent as always, playing with a broken bolt he found on the floor. The woman watched him with tired eyes, her arms wrapped around her knees. The underground colony felt safer than the cold ship, but safety was never real. Only borrowed. Cole stood at the edge of the room, watching the heavy metal door, listening. Waiting. You don't trust them, the woman said. Should I? They let us in. So did the last people who betrayed me. She looked down. I understand. He glanced at the boy. He's too calm, Cole muttered. Too quiet. He learned quickly. If he makes noise, someone hits him. Cole didn't answer. He couldn't. His stomach turned with rage, but it wasn't hers. It was his own species. His own soldiers. His own people who had made that child learn silence outside. The colony wasn't calm anymore. Rumors had spread. There's a Ziari woman in the mines. Her child isn't fully human. A traitor soldier brought them here. Whispers turned into arguments. Arguments turned into fists. And fists began reaching for weapons. Later that night, Cole was called to the colony's center chamber. The old miner who let them in stood waiting, along with half a dozen others. Some had tools in hand, others had guns. We have a problem, the old man said. I know, Cole replied. One of the younger miners pointed a finger. They don't belong here. She's the enemy. That kid could be dangerous. He's just a child. Half Ziari? Another growled. What happens when he grows up and turns on us? You'd shoot a kid for what he might do? Cole asked. I'd shoot him for what she already did. The woman had entered the room, silently. She stepped forward now, her face pale but her voice strong. You think I chose this? She asked. You think I wanted him born in a lab, raised by guards? You think I had power? No one spoke. If you kill me, fine. But don't kill him. He never had a choice. The silence stretched. And then someone threw a rock. It hit her shoulder. She fell back. Cole stepped forward, gun drawn. That's enough. You going to shoot us all, soldier? One man asked. If I have to. The boy had come running. He stood in front of his mother now, arms wide, eyes wet with tears. No. More, the boy said softly. Everyone froze. It was the first time he spoke since the medbay. Don't hurt Mama. His voice was quiet, shaking, but it hit like thunder. Even the angriest men stepped back. The old miner raised a hand. "No more blood," he said. "Not in my colony." But something had changed. The line had been drawn, and Cole knew. This wasn't a shelter anymore. It was the start of a new fight, not just to protect them, but to prove that mercy still mattered, that even in war, humanity could still win. HFY, Humanity Forgives Youth trial, was not in a courtroom. It was in a cold storage hall, with crates for seats and lights that flickered when the wind screamed through the vents. But the voices inside were louder than the storm. Miners, fighters, workers, refugees, all gathered in a circle, all watching the woman. She stood with her head high, arms bound. Even though she hadn't fought back, her child clung to her leg. Cole stood behind her, hand resting on his blaster, ready to draw if anyone made the wrong move. "She's the enemy," a man shouted. "She admitted it." "She never hurt anyone here," Cole said calmly. "She didn't have to. Her kind killed our families, burned our homes. Now we feed her? Shelter her? The war is over. Not for us." Silence followed that. The boy looked up, confused by the hate in the room. Then someone stepped forward, a woman, older, face lined by years of loss. She looked at the child. "Not his mother? What's your name, little one?" The boy said. "Nothing." He looked at his mother. She nodded. "Name," he whispered, "is... I don't have." The older woman blinked. She knelt down. "Do you want one?" The boy looked at Cole. "Can I?" he asked. Cole stepped forward. "Yes, you can." The boy looked down for a long moment, then smiled, the first true smile anyone had seen on him. "Then I want the name of the man who gave me food." The crowd turned to Cole. His throat tightened. "I'm not your father," he said. "But you made me feel safe," the boy whispered, "like a papa." Tears touched the woman's eyes, but she didn't speak. "Not yet." The older woman stood. "This boy is innocent. He's more human than many of us here." Someone in the crowd growled, "What about the mother?" The woman finally spoke, her voice steady. "I was part of something evil. I didn't choose it. But I lived through it. I carry that stain." "Then why come here?" Someone yelled. "Because I wanted him to live free, not to grow up inside a lab, or under a flag, or behind a gun." She knelt down beside her son, took his hand. "I came here to beg, not for my life, but for his future." A long silence, then Cole stepped forward. "We say we're better than them. That's what every human says about the enemy. We're better, well..." He looked around the room. "This is the moment we prove it." "How?" someone shouted. "By showing mercy. By forgiving what war created and choosing what peace demands." The old miner walked up beside him. "Forgiveness isn't weakness," he said. "It's the last kind of strength we've got." The vote was quiet. No yelling. Just hands raised, one by one. Until the circle was full of hands. No chains. No guns. Just choice. Later that night, Cole sat outside the storage hall, looking up at a sky full of broken stars. The woman sat beside him. The boy slept in her lap, a blanket around him. "Thank you," she said. "I didn't do it for thanks," Cole replied. "Then why?" He looked at her. "Because someone had to break the cycle. Hate only ends when someone says, 'Enough.'" She nodded slowly. "What now?" He smiled just a little. "Now we build something better. Together? Together." And so it ended, not with fire, with war, but with a choice, to forgive, to protect, to be human. That was the real victory. Humanity. F***, yeah, ***.